Hey, you're listening to Talking Tunes, and joining me today talking tunes is...
Stazma the JungleChrist.
No, you need more reverb. Stazma the JungleChrist.
Stazma the JungleChrist.
That's it, man. Converge, the saddest day. I mean, this doesn't come as a big surprise, right? We're going to go with a mixture of heavy metal and hardcore breakcore, right?
Yeah, indeed. I've tried to do this a little bit in a chronological order as well, but I'll explain while talking on each tune, I guess.
Metalcore band formed in 1990 in Boston, United States. But this tune here from 1996, lots of anger and lots of energy in it, right?
Indeed. So basically, I guess a lot of people know that already, but I come from more of a metal and hardcore background, and I started to listen to electronic music quite late. And this track in particular was really the thing that got me into hardcore, like the hardcore punk scene, the more punk rock side of rock and roll more than the metal side. And this one, it has this breakdown in the middle where it goes like and it goes like faster and faster and faster. And this track, I mean, it always put me on fire. Once I played in the illegal rave in London, and someone put that track at the end of his set, and it was like, yes! It was like, it was awesome. So it has a little bit of a rave connotation to me. And also, good stories behind with these tracks. So I went to see Converge once in a very small venue, like 150 people, something like this, very small stage. So the ambience was awesome, and I ended up doing the chorus on this track with the singer Jacob Bannon, like grabbing me by the head with microphone in my mouth, like "Sing, motherfucker!" And that was awesome. It was a good experience.
So you play instruments as well as playing with all your modular synths?
Yes, I'm a bass player. It's the thing that got me into making music, basically. I play a little bit of guitar as well. I recently started to play again, actually, because I basically really left the guitar and the bass stuff on the side when I got heavily into synthesizer and stuff. But recently, a new side project with a friend play guitar, like Golden Fangs. I started to play bass a little bit for this band, and more actually, and even a lot in the Stazma tune, because my friend Tito, which is in Golden Fangs with me, actually gave me his bass guitar, which is a very nice Fender jazz bass, because it doesn't have an amp anymore. It was like, I don't use it. I don't have an amp. Just take it. So I felt like a sort of mission to get back on it. I'm having a lot of fun.
I think you mentioned before about the Fang project. Have you been putting music out under Fang, or are you still working on that?
We've done only 3 tracks EP on my label, Concrete Collage, which is called Golden Fangs, as the project, Golden Fangs. That was easy. But we are working on a big album at the moment, and we recorded almost 12 tracks together this year, and I'm still in the process of sorting those out and mixing them, and it's gonna take a while, I guess, but it's gonna be pretty weird and cool, I guess. I hope so, anyway.
How many collabs are you involved in? Because I know with Onwork you're doing Repeater stuff, right?
Repeater is me alone. My friend Onwork has another side project on his own that's called Acidroid. And when we started Concrete Collage, actually we started Concrete Collage together. And it was because we wanted to release our side project that we have together, which is Droid Eater.
Ah, yes.
Like a combination of Repeater and Acidroid. Apart from this, I don't have much other collaboration going on, apart from remixes and stuff.
I had a Facebook memory pop up
Yeah, I saw it as well.
2 years ago, you were coming to Dublin. That feels like it was yesterday to me, anyway. I mean, I know you're a superstar DJ. You DJ all over the world, and I'm sure you've done hundreds of gigs since.
No, because COVID was right after, like not much time after that. I think I played 2 gigs after this one, maybe. Like one in Moscow and one in Barcelona, and after that was it.
Oh man,
it's been a while.
Yeah. So this tune, I was doing a little bit of digging on this one, Converge, Sadest. I've never heard of this band before, but it was saying in the information that they had a tune, it was on Cyberpunk 2077. Have you seen that game, Cyberpunk?
I've heard of it, but I'm not a massive video game player. Actually, I think when I was still excited by video games was maybe like 5 years or 6 years ago. I was still a little bit into it. I think they were already talking about this game, about making it. The first trailer was like 7 or 8 years ago, I think. I was like, wow, this looks awesome. And when I saw it was released like recently, I was like, oh, whoa, they really took their time.
Yeah, I think the last great game I played was Grand Theft Auto. I don't know if you've ever played that.
Yeah, a bit.
I kind of thought Cyberpunk would be like that, but it just, it didn't really do it for me.
I never tried anyway.
Your biggest thing is playing with your machines, right?
Yeah, mostly, yeah. I have a lot to play with, so I'm good with this.
How you pronounce it? Ars Moriendi?
Ars Moriendi, I guess. Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce it, to be honest. I just opened my window as well because it's very hot in my studio. But let me know if there's too much noise coming from there at some point. Okay?
No, it's fine. If anything, I'd just be jealous that you live in the south of France and you have gorgeous weather.
I know, actually, the weather is shit today, but.
No, let's not talk about that. The summer's coming to an end in Ireland now. You know, we're starting to put jumpers back on again.
Yeah.
We had our moment of sunshine. I imagine it's like 25 or 30 there or something like that, is it?
Yeah, right. It was 25 today, I think. Something like that.
Gets to 25 in Ireland, everything stops and everyone goes to the beach. So you've been living in Lyon for a while, but then you moved out into the countryside for a while.
Yeah.
Are you still out in the countryside?
Still in the countryside, yeah. Probably not for long, but it's still cool. I'm not really looking forward to go back to any city, to be honest.
Do you prefer living out in the countryside then?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I work from home, so I prefer to work in a place where I can go walk in the mountains in a matter of minutes without taking a car than just in a big city where it's where the weather is shit all the time, and it's difficult.
That's one of the things, we're talking about with a lot of people is what they've been doing during COVID. And obviously, you're a professional musician, you make your money from music, and I know you do mastering and you do your own music and you do your own sales, but you've also been doing a few other bits on the side. You've been doing teaching, right? Yeah.
I've been teaching Modular synth in Lyon for like a professional internship program. I don't know. Hey, it's quite cool. And I started a YouTube channel. I'm a YouTuber. That's why I have a good sounding microphone, actually, because I'm doing YouTube videos now. So I need a good sounding microphone to do that. And actually, with this and Patreon, so people can go on Patreon and basically give me money to do stuff. And it worked way better than I anticipated. And it did make life much easier during the COVID part because I had no money from gigs, which I was used to. And so, yeah, it's cool. And it's fun. I like teaching. I like giving tips to people. So that's what I do over the internet as well as in real life.
So let's talk a bit about this tune before it finishes out, because there's only a minute or two left on it. Mr. Bungle, anyway.
Yeah, Mr. Bungle. This is also crazy tune, crazy band. For me, this is breakcore already. I think it's one of my favorite band from before I started electronic music as well. And even when I do electronic music, I still build tracks, I think, a lot of time, a little bit like they do. Like just having an idea, let this idea sparks go this way, and without very caring about, the song structure too much, And for me, this is already like pure breakcore. Most of what they did in the mindset, just fucking things up a lot.
It's an interesting track as well because it came out in 2010, but the band themselves have been around since 1985 and still going today. So I've never heard of them before. So I'd imagine there's a hell of a lot of music there that you can dig into.
Actually, they did only 4 albums. Because this was the last one they did before they split it, and they just made one last year, which is, I think, a re-recording of their first demo, but with a good sound and more crazy ideas. But it's more of a band that meets all together once in a while, make a crazy album, and goodbye type of things. But the 3 albums all the albums they did are completely different from each other. And you can still instantly recognize the band, but it's really weird band. I love this band.
And now you've gone from that to this, Aphex Twin, Come to Daddy, 1997. I mean, this is about as mainstream breakcore as you can get, right?
Yeah, definitely, I guess so.
I was expecting, we'll get Stazma on and they'll pick out some really weird bits and pieces. Aphex Twin. So come on, tell me about this one. How come you picked this one?
Basically, all the stuff I picked either for an influential reason or for like a story reason. And I remember this one is very clear. It's the track that made me switch from electronic music is shit to okay, now we can talk. And it was I went to see a show in Lyon when I was like maybe 16 or something. I went to see System of a Down with a friend, and we were staying at an older friend house in Lyon, and we were talking metal and stuff, and he was like, you have to watch this video of this guy Aphex Twin. It's like, what is it? It's electronic music. I was like, no, don't even care. He was like, no, wait, just watch the video. And did put the video clip, and I was like, okay, that's good, very, very, very good. And then that's really what switched me on to, okay, no, I can listen to electronic music finally. Then I went on to listening to all the Aphex Twin stuff, and then Squarepusher, Rotator, and it all came down to this rabbit hole of crazy music. So this is really the track that's responsible. Basically, like the track before, Mr. Bungle paved the way for in my mind for I like weird music that goes too far, and Come to Daddy was the gateway into electronic music. And it's also quite a weird track when you think about it in the way it's constructed. It's not mainstream at all if you think about it. There's no real chorus or whatever. The end goes to something completely different, and well, it's a fucking crazy great track.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's got 3 million plays on YouTube, so that's quite a lot of plays, right?
That's probably more than what everything I do will have. Yeah, put together when I'm dead.
But it's got that guitar sort of sound. So if you're into that sort of music, the metal and the punk stuff, you hear this, it's got the guitar, and you're going, I can relate to that. The vocals, screaming vocals, you relate to that.
Yeah. I think it's more the screaming vocals, because if we go to the nerdy side, I'm pretty sure there's no guitar at all in this. It's probably only synth.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Played with shitloads of distortion, and probably played through an amp, a real guitar or bass amplifier and speaker. It sounds a little bit like this.
But that main riff sounds like guitar to me.
Yeah, it sounds like a guitar riff, indeed. But I'm pretty sure it's not a real guitar. I'd be curious. I was thinking, I was listening to it recently, and thought, like, how the hell did this sound? Actually, never tried to replicate it seriously. Maybe I will do that next week. Just for fun.
Let me ask you about modular synths, because one thing I've wondered about them is, like, you're working with all these patch cables. Like, once you've made a sound, once you've been tweaking and you've made a sound, like, you can't save that sound.
No.
You're going to record that to a computer, and then that's it. If you ever unplug that cable, that sound's gone. Or do you have notes of red cable to R4 and...
No.
Could you even possibly... No?
You can try, but it never really works out. I've tried, not really hard, to be honest, but this is what I like about those machines, is that you make a sound. If you feel inspired by this sound, you have to record it right now. You have to make something out of it now. So it forces you to be creative and to record stuff, and just sometimes, even if you're not particularly inspired to make a song or a full track out of it, you can be inspired by just the sound, then record it and use it later on as a pure material for further destruction or playing, and that's what I like about those.
And would you ever think about maybe just recording a whole bunch of stuff and then just putting it out as a sample pack?
Yeah, I do it quite often on Patreon, and we've done it a little bit as well with Concrete Collage. We've been releasing a few sample packs with small compilations, all for free. They are more like drum machine oriented stuff on the Concrete Collage. What I do on Patreon is more like most of the videos I do, they're almost always a synth somewhere, or modular or not, but and I always give out the samples taken from the video, so people can use those sounds as they want.
Sense you in a smoke Mataran. Baby shoulda in a crib when I do a dance. I know we are gonna murder you.
And now we're going into Bong-Ra Murder 2005. Bong-Ra, obviously Dutch producer, but we're going more towards the jungly sort of vibes now.
Yes, so this one was the first proper jungle tunes I've heard. Weirdly, before all the normal jungle stuff like BZB or Goldie or whatever. I mean, this one, it was a friend of mine who had this on CD and who played it at like once when we were drinking beers or I don't know, and I was like, what the hell? This is. I've always liked reggae as well, like only old reggae. I'm not really fan of what's modern with this. I'm really conservative about my reggae, but I really like the old stuff, and I really like the vibe of the drums in this track with the ravey bits and the very reggae, cool, old school vibes that's in there. This track really gave me the wheel of trying to make more jungle stuff. We've been listening to this one like most of the tracks that will go after that. A lot of them actually have been listened in a car during travels with all my friends and stuff. This is something that will be recurrent. It's a pattern, and yeah, this one, definitely car a lot.
So you obviously, when you were gigging previously, you're meeting lots of different people. I'm sure you probably met people like Bong-Ra and Squarepusher and these sorts of people before. How do you feel when you meet them? Like, do you remember when you were, hearing that music for the first time, going, "Wow, this person's so impressive," and then you actually get to meet them? Because I know you're quite a down-to-earth kind of guy. You take people as they come. But do you ever have those fanboy moments?
Yeah, Bong-Ra, I was very happy to meet him. Actually, I had a lot of fun with him. He's a very cool guy. Hello, Jason, if you're listening. We never know. My main big fanboy moment was, I think, at a few years ago at Bunkface Amsterdam. I was chatting with Venetian Snare in the backstage, and a lot of people came in, and they all started talking with Aaron, and I was watching there, and basically all the people in the room were like Venetian Snare, Music, Sifax, a guy called Gerald, and there was another one that I don't remember right now. And I was in the middle of this, and I'm like, okay, that's normal. It's a normal evening. There's nothing to be crazy about it. And inside I was, what the fuck is going on? How did I get here? Yeah, exactly. Like, what? But it was fun. I'm usually very happy to meet all those guys that I've listened for years. And I don't have maybe just a few bad memories of meeting people that I liked the music. I mean, but most of the time it's very cool. Never met Squarepusher yet.
Yeah, we should do that sometime. He's played Bankface a few times. We should definitely see if we can track him down at a Bankface or something. So anyway, we're on to Squarepusher now anyway. Steinbolt. This tune from 2004 on the Ultra Visitor album.
Yeah, I love this album. It's a little bit like Mr. Bungle. You can tell instantly that it's a Squarepusher album, but it goes into basically all the territories. And I love this track because it's the most noisy and the most violent he ever did. It's the closest to the more hard breakcore thing that Squarepusher done. And I love it. I mean, if you put me this on a dance floor on a big sound system, I'd go crazy instantly. It is so punk and so like angry, which is very rare from a Squarepusher standpoint. It doesn't do that much violent stuff, and this one is just like, it is violence. Like straight up violence. It's completely unpredictable, super distorted, super like, yeah, don't know what. He must have been pretty angry that day.
He's quite well known for doing the intricate melodies and the complex patterns and almost fractal-like music,
Yeah.
Whereas this is like, as you say, maybe he dropped a brick on his foot this day.
Probably, yeah. And there's also the bass playing thing. That he's a crazy bass player. I think this one is also most of the time all the weird acid bass lines are played by bass with like lots of effects on it. You can hear that he's playing bass on this one as well. It's just like yeah. Die humans. Love it.
He said of this album, the Ultra Visitor is a spectacle of beauty and terror. It's unknowable and will never be understood by anybody, least of all its creator.
I never read that sentence. I didn't knew that he said that about it. It's quite true. I mean, not a surprise that he said that about it.
I mean, that's breakcore, isn't it? And in essence, somewhere between beauty and terror.
Indeed. This ending is just like, gives me love for humanity to hear this kind of music. It's funny, it rings a bell right now. My girlfriend sometimes listens to meditative music to help her write. This is the kind of music that really makes me want to kill people. That's weird. It's supposed to calm you down, but for me, it's just like, when will they shut up? And I usually, if I'm in the same room, I'm usually just put headphones on and listen to Napalm Death or grindcore or any other type of very violent thing, and be like, I feel good now. Finally, a little bit of peace. So this track's a little bit this. I feel the same way with this than with grindcore.
That statement, this is music that makes me want to kill people. I feel at some point in a court of law at your trial, a judge is going to be asking to review. We're talking about for educational purposes and for entertainment purposes only, yeah?
Yeah, of course.
The relationship between music and mood is a big thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
For some people, especially the sort of breakcore, it's cathartic.
Yeah.
It's a releasing of attention, and just go for it, lose yourself in it, you lose yourself in the noise of it.
Indeed, yeah. That's actually what's the closest. That's why I ended up in the breakcore scene and in the listening to breakcore very quickly after I discovered electronic music, is that it is the same thing as metal, or at least more hardcore punk than metal. Because in the metal, a lot of people have this kind of heroic or kind of I don't know what to say, but like epic feel about songwriting and stuff, which is not really true of breakcore. It can be, but it's not the main purpose. The main purpose is to just release violence, which is punk to me. I've said it a few times. For me, breakcore is just punk with the computers and machines instead of instruments, guitars and stuff. But you can have both.
So when your girlfriend's trying to write and she's listening to meadow and meditative music, is she completely different room from you, mattress against the door so she can't hear you at all?
No, that's okay. She's got used to it. She can live with it. It's not her music for sure, but she can live with it. And I can live with meditation music for a small period of time as well. I didn't remember that it was that long, this one. It's a long track, but it's good. So we are on to Vash. This one, Making Cow. Love this track. So this one, it's a little bit the same as I said about Murder You. I think I bought this album, Dadaist Happy Hardcore Pom Pom. Best album name ever. Love the cover as well. Very good. And I bought this album when I was in high school, I think. I bought the CD from internet. When I got it, I made it listen to all my friends who were not that much into weird electronic music. And there were two tracks in this album that winded everybody. It was like this one, because the sample is in French after. I don't know if you ever got it, but there's a woman voice saying, "C'est une machine pour faire des vaches," which means the same, the sample at the beginning, it's a machine for making cow, which doesn't make any sense.
So Vache is a French word?
Yeah, Vache is cow.
Gotcha. There you go. Now it all makes sense. Because Venetian Snares is from Canada, and they speak French as well as English there.
I don't think he speaks French. When I met him, yeah, probably. He's probably more exposed to French than most English-speaking people, for sure. But yeah, and this track with this sample in French, all my friends were like, "What the fuck? The machine for making cows doesn't make any sense." So everyone laughed about it. There's another track on this album. It was very hard to choose between the two for me. There's this one and another one called Puitendo, which is very 8-bit, chiptune sounding. This one is awesome as well. But those two, Puitendo and Vache, I think those are two of the tracks that I can listen with all my friends from high school, which is quite rare from a breakcore standpoint. I mean, I was that guy that listened to music that went way too far into music compared to anybody else. So all my friends, when I was like, I have something new to make you listen, they were like, no, don't put it now. we know how it's going to sound like, so please don't. And I'm fine with that, I'm happy to have met other people who like this later on, but I mean, when you listen to that, such a weird kind of music, I guess you're doomed to find a few other people that share your interest. But anyway, those two, and especially this one, I'm pretty sure all my friends can still like it, which is nice.
I'm wondering as well, with the fact that I wonder if in countries where English isn't the first language, are you more likely to listen to electronic music because you're not that interested in the vocals? And then you hear this one and it's actually got some French in it and you're like, I identify with that.
Probably, yeah. Actually, there's another track, I don't remember the name of the track, but there's another one in this album where there's a full poem in French in the middle of the track. It's an awesome poem. I love this track as well. It's not that ravey, but it's awesome. I don't remember. I think it's Tash or Twirl. I don't remember. Anyway, either Tash or Twirl. And yes, when you can understand the lyrics, it's cool sometimes, but sometimes it's the opposite. You know what I mean? There's a lot of French things that if I didn't knew what the guys were saying, I could listen to it. When I understand, sometimes it's like, come on. And actually, that's the problem. I've been speaking English for such a long time now, even if I'm not super good at it, but I can understand more and more. So sometimes I listen to stuff that I used to not understand and be fine with it. And now I'm just like, what? That's the lyrics? It sucks. So it's a double-edged sword, I guess.
Yeah, because I often forget, because your English is so good, that just, English isn't the first language.
Oh, really? Well, that's it. Yeah, I still have this feeling of trying to catch the words sometimes, being like, how do I say that?
You have the outrageous accent, though. That's common, and all French people have the outrageous accent.
You know what? When you're at school in English teaching, they are all about the accents. Like, you need to speak with as little French accent as possible. But what I witnessed from the real life is that even if you try to hide it, you're just like, there's no way to hide it. It's you're doomed. You're French instantly. It's like, hello guys, you're French, right? Okay, yes, I am. And so I stopped trying to make like if I wasn't French. I speak English like a French people, and it's okay. I'm alright with it.
When I go to France, I try to practice my French, but as soon as I open my mouth, it's like, we'll just start speaking English to me, and I'm like, I'll never get past bonjour, mon ami.
And you're trying. It's already quite good.
Yeah.
And if you find people who speak English in France, it's getting better, but we are not the best country for that, I guess.
Anyway, let's not talk all the way through Hellfish, Turntable Savage.
Oh yeah. 2016.
This was actually interesting, picked by Holly Anthrax as well, when I did Talking Tunes with her as well. So it's a very popular tune, Hellfish, Turntable Savage.
And I mean never drop. I like it loud.
This one, it's also one of the car soundtrack. I remember this one. I think we must have been like 19 or 18 or 19. And we've crossed France from where I live at the moment as well, actually, which is very far southeast. And we went on the ocean, so it's basically like crossing the entire France from east to west. And I think we've been listening to this track at least 5 times a day in the car, because it was every time we got bored, it was like, okay, let's put Turntable Savage. It will give us some energy to pass through this extremely long travel. And so for me, it's one of those like power track, you can put it anytime you're happy, just make you want to be happy, I guess. Love this track. Simple, efficient, Hellfish. It's also one of the tracks that you can make listen to a lot of not that breakcore people. Even it's not breakcore, I guess. I'm not sure if I would classify it as breakcore. It's quite punk, so yes. It's not even really hardcore. I mean, there's kick drums, but there's lots of scratch. It doesn't give it that much shit, so I guess it's let's label it breakcore as well, because it doesn't give a shit. This is the track that don't give a shit. They're breakcore. That's all they need to be breakcore.
What are you looking at in terms of gigs now? Have you got anything booked, or are you still in holding pattern?
Actually, I have 2 gigs booked this month, and that's it. But one got cancelled and then got uncancelled like 2 days ago, and so I think I have my tickets for both now. I'm like, whoa, I'm gonna play again. I did play it in a few small parties for friends' birthday and stuff like this summer, even last summer as well. But like only unofficial small stuff, which were already very good. Like it's always better than not playing, because I love playing. So yeah, so I play like next weekend, one after, in I don't remember the name of the city. It's a Gogbot Festival, but it's funny. It's gonna be funny because it's going to be like 50 people and sit down version of it. Like 50 people sit down. That's gonna be fun. When they told me like, are you still into it? I was like, hey, even more. All the chances that I'm going to do that again in my life, playing in front of people sit down. That's only now. It's a limited offer, I guess. So,
stop talking, stop dancing, sit down, pay attention.
Yeah.
Pay attention to me. Look, eyes forward.
Yeah.
Look at me.
I guess I'm going to try to play some very anti-dance floor stuff. I'm not known for being a very dance floor act, I guess. But I think I'm going to play some very weird stuff, some slow stuff. I'm going to try to make something weird for this special occasion. And the other show is supposed to... It's in a sort of private party. I think it's the guy from DEF CON, called JeffCon. And it's in Belgium, and it's the last weekend of September. And this one, I guess, will be the opposite. They're going to play a full-on blasting Amen hardcore set, like pure 100% rave stuff, my way. So it probably won't be that ravey, but I'm going to try anyway.
Excellent. I guess you're absolutely looking forward to that as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Been a long time coming.
Definitely. I'm really looking forward. But at the same time, I forgot the whole, going to airports, check in, especially now with the test. And I'm so used to the countryside living now that going to an airport, have myself tested and stuff. I'm just like, what the fuck is... But yeah, it's going to be worth it, I'm sure. Give me a second, if we can do a small pause. My cat is getting crazy at the door, so I have to open to him. I'm going to get another beer. And I come back in 2 minutes.
But only I can do it.
Okay, I'm back.
What the fuck are they doing with our, art form? It's like they axe murdered the shit.
Okay, so this one, haha. Basically, I'm sorry, but there's twice Aphex Twin in this thing.
That's okay.
This is an Aphex Twin remix. This one has a very particular story. That's why I picked it up. I love it.
It's your gig, mate. You pick what you want.
I love this track, so there's no question about that. But so the story about this one is that one of my other weirdo music aficionado friend from school, Flo, maybe he's listening as well. Hello, Flo. And he was more into all the weird, like abstract electronic music stuff, like Murkoff, Alvanotto, and stuff like this. But he was also a big fan of Venetian Snare. He basically tried to buy weird vinyl from Venetian Snare from eBay, and he just like put a bid on it and kind of forget about it, and then he win the bids. He get it in the mail, and this is a vinyl. He thought it was a CD. It was vinyl, like full black with no information on it, like just one side pure harsh noise and the other side this. And it took us like maybe 1 or 2 years to find out that it was not Venetian Snare at all. It was the Aphex Twin. It was that's impronounceable release names like Smudge Pass EP, I don't know, where there is on one side this track and on the other side 2 harsh noise tracks. And so in the end he just gave it to me because he didn't have a vinyl player. So when he got it, he gave it to me. I think I spent 1 or 2 years having it without knowing who it was. And when I discovered it, I laugh, and because I discovered it by surprise. And so I have this vinyl, and it's weird. It's in an ugly black sleeve with like duct tape on it, and a black vinyl in it with absolutely nothing written on it. It's really like just, yeah, that's it. Deal with it. But yeah, it's a fun track. Love it.
Like, this is a bit of a deviation from your normal style. I mean, apart from the fact that it's remixed by Aphex, got vocal on here from a rapper, right? It's Bug. Again, it's almost dub end of the spectrum, right?
Yeah, but I mean, in the days, especially in the days where I got this, I was very more into the ragacore thing. You know, all my old stuff, very much like ripping off dancehall acapellas from internet and blasting amens and bassline on it. I've done a lot of tracks like this, and now I couldn't do that anymore because I would get bored in a minute. But I really had fun at the time, and this track was for me, it's like the ragacore track. It's perfect in this kind of department. But there's many others. Like Bong-Ra did a lot of really great track like this.
I don't know, I sometimes feel that some of that, you get a vocal from a dancehall track, add some breaks to it, and it's like, there you go, there's your tune. It's a bit formulaic.
Yeah, but it's one of the formula, a little bit like if I go to a rock and roll parallel, it's like a Motorhead or AC/DC, They basically do the same track all the time. But if you go to, like, for ragacore, sometimes, yeah, that's the formula. Get an acapella, get a breakbeat, some, like, bass line on it, and you're done. That's enough. Yeah, you make people rave with that. I remember when I was doing this kind of tracks, it made me feel happy to do it. So that's what I always done, basically. Make music that make me happy on the moment. When I was listening to this kind of stuff, making it was like, it's not that hard, that's fun. And yeah, cool. Let's go with it.
And what's this at the end of the track?
It's just noise.
White noise. I was like listening to this going, what the hell?
No, I mean, this is a very strange record. There's this remix, and really, the other side of the vinyl is pure noise. And yeah, why? Why ragacore and noise? Why not? We went onto the Rotator side of stuff. I mean, Rotator. I guess everyone who knows me via Piss Off. I was a huge Rotator fan when Frank contacted me out of nowhere to pick a track for one of the Kamikaze Club compilation. And I was like, wow, really? No, incredible. And after that, we met, we became friends. I released more stuff on Piss Off and stuff. But when I discovered Rotator, it was via this big compilation album he made, like Choose Your Poison, Mine is Hardcore. And this track, it is like the piece of sound for me. Like, it's all over, like samples, kick drums, aim and breaks, breakbeat stuff. It's just like in your face all the time, and it's just the tight fucking more. Yes, the sample will be like fucking more. It's just like a full-on explosion of punkness. Love this track.
I was going to ask you, do you know what's happened to Rotator and the Piss Off label? Because they haven't done anything since 2015.
I don't want to speak for him.
Okay, no, obviously not.
I guess he just started to work in new stuff because he's making furniture. Like, he buys old furniture, makes them look good again, and sell them. And he was already passionate about this way before even Piss Off, maybe. But he went full time in this. I guess he still wants to make some new Piss Off records at some point, but I guess, yeah, it's more on pause than like left behind completely, I guess. But I'm not him to say it, so not sure. Better ask him.
Yeah, I'd ask him, obviously, yeah.
Yes.
I think it's time to make the floor burn.
Floor burn. This always makes me smile. It's just like, yes. But yes, man, Piss Off. Legendary label because it had that energetic side that was not always there in the breakcore scene. But there's a lot of things in the breakcore scene. That's what I like about it. It's very diverse. Like the set up a dance floor on fire with still while retaining a completely crazy way of making music is the Piss Off thing. So it was really like that sound of it is power in your face, broken power. It's like you have your finger in the in the 220 volts all the time.
And of course, I mean, we could talk a lot about Piss Off. I'll bring it around to Bangface 2019. Piss Off takeover at Bangface. I mean, what a lineup that was, right?
Oh yeah.
Such good day.
That was insane. It was such an insane night. And I remember there was a mess up in the schedule. And we were all supposed to play an hour, and something got wrong during the day. I mean, and Ash Skimboy, our agent from Very Speed, he came to us because we were all together the whole weekend, basically all the Piss Off crew. And he came to us and was like, guys, there's a problem, and the best solution is to shorten everyone's set and to only play 45 minutes each. I think he was like, oh, maybe they're gonna not be happy about it. I was like, yes, let's go. We play more violent then. And I think it was maybe even better that way. Like, yes, fast. Another one. Faster. Another one. Faster.
Yeah, 45-minute sets, definitely the way to do it from now on, I think. I mean, an hour just feels so long, doesn't it? 45 minutes, just cram it all in. Full on, let's go.
It depends. If you have in a festival, 45 minutes I think it's the best. But if you have time, if you're not meant to play a dance floor set, it's nice to have 1 hour, even 1 hour and a half maybe. But something, that where you can take time to develop an ambience or something. But 45 minutes, if you're here to smash a dance floor, 45 minutes is perfect.
I mean, you see these techno DJs who go, I'm playing a 3-hour set.
Yeah.
Journey. It's like, well, I hope that journey includes a sandwich.
I've seen people playing. I know I've not seen them personally. I mean, but I've read about people in the techno scene playing 10 hours set or marathon set, basically. That must be fun. But I mean, ecstasy, right? You need that for the. But I don't know.
Just give me that 10 hours, compress it down to 45 minutes, put an amen break on it and a few swear words, and there you go. Now I'm happy.
That's also a good definition of breakcore. Cram 10 hours of music into 45 minutes. Done.
Well, now we're on to another one from the Peace Off label, Monster X, I Made You My Bitch.
Yeah, this one, there's the title. The title by itself always make me laugh. Yeah, this is one of the best human beings I've met in this scene. Monster X, hello Julien. It's another Julien as well.
Another one?
Yeah, because we have many. This album, I think it's Satan is Love. It's not an album, it's an EP, but anyway, it's full on rave Monster X. This is not the sort of stuff he's doing now, but when he was on that sort of crazy, bouncy bass mood, I love what he's doing now, but this is great as well. This track's something that you can put me on the dance floor as well. I think last time I played with him was in another illegal party in London. And I told him, man, are you playing I Make You My Bitch? He was like, I haven't played it in years, but I played it for you. I was like, oh, cool. And when he put it, I was like, yes, on big sound system. I think it was the first time I heard it on the big sound system. And it was really dance floor melter as well, even being that weird. But he is, I think, one of the best live performer in the electronic music scene, because he's really into it when he plays. You can see him destroy the sounds he make on his face, basically, and that's something that's important for me when you can see that people are having fun on stage in electronic music. Yeah, because there's a lot of people in electronic music that they could be sending emails or whatever on their computer. You don't know. Maybe they're just buying clothes or stuff, but you don't know.
I think if I ever made breakcore, I think I'd just call myself Julien, given how many Juliens are in breakcore. It's ridiculous, but there we go.
But there was a party in Belgium once.
Just Juliens. How about that? Yeah.
Yeah, not just Juliens, but almost. There was Monster X Juliens, Crumble Julien, Ruby My Dear Julien, and me. I think we were 4. I don't know if there was a 5th one, but 4 is enough, I guess. But it was fun because at a few points, people arrived in the backstage was like, "Hey, Julien!" and all the 4 of us were like, "Yes, which one?"
Hellfish, Julien Cobb.
Hellfish as well, yeah, Hellfish. And there's Itori as well, it's called Julien.
Is he really? Oh, that's ridiculous, isn't it?
Yeah, no, that's insane.
Yeah.
And by the way, we have a new Itori album released today on Concrete Collage. Released exactly 1 hour and 20 minutes ago from the moment we are recording this.
Tell me a bit about Concrete Collage, because you've been doing that now for 2 years or thereabouts, haven't you?
My partner in crime for Concrete Collage, Amber, told me that we are going I think on the 24th of September will be the 3rd anniversary of the label, which is crazy.
Every month or so you're putting something out as well.
Yeah, we've tried to put something out every month since we started, almost. Thing is that we have so many good stuff that we've been sent that we need to release something every month if we want to get it all released at some point.
So now we're into another tune now. Tim Exile, Big Bad Purple Bad Boy. So we've gone from Peace Off to Planet Mu.
Yeah, another label I really like. Never been on it yet, maybe. Never know.
That comes as a surprise. I would have thought you'd have been on there already.
No, not yet. I've missed the breakcore train on the big labels, I guess.
This one was made as a remix for a BBC Radio 1 project where it was competitions remix by rapper Black Twang. And obviously Tim Exile, really well known for the breakbeat and jungle.
Yeah. For me, it's this album in particular, because he's done very, very varied things. But this album, Pro Agonist, it's one of the best drum and bassy jungle breakcore stuff for me. Still now, the sound design and the way all the sounds are evolving all the times, it's crazy. Even now, it's like he's set up a level of craziness that's hardly been beaten often. And I think this track, I love like the thing on the vocal, the way it's very catchy while being an absolute mess at the same time, and I love it for this.
Yo, it's black. Yo, it's blacks.
Yeah. I didn't know it was a remix for a rapper. I was pretty sure it was his voice. I do kind of recognize his voice. I always thought it was his voice in there. Or maybe it is, but maybe it is both.
The big bad purple bad boy, is that not coming from the rapper Black Twang? I mean, I don't know. I'm only reading my notes from Wikipedia, so I could be completely wrong.
Yeah, it's possible. I don't know. That's funny. Another fun story about this track that I can tell you. Team Exile once played in Lyon. It was organized by Jarring Affair, which is a label I've been involved in. And that night I was recording live sets of all the people playing. And it was the time when he was not playing that much of a jungle thing like this. It was more like recording the crowd and making a very weird techno set out of only live recording. It was very fun as well. But we were talking with him in the backstage after his set with another friend from Lyon, and we were like, man, that album Protagonist and this track, and my friend was agreed with me. We haven't talked about it before, and he said to him like, yeah, Big Bad Purple Boy. It's like, yes, Big Bad Purple Boy, this track. And he looked at us, I think you guys are the first to tell me about this track in years. No one cares about it. And we're like, what? This is the best ever. And maybe I guess it was just the two of us thinking this, but man, this track, love it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm loving the bass on it. I mean, there's lots to enjoy. But that bass.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't get bored. You can't get bored. There's so many things going on. It could easily go into the too much as well, but he managed to keep it just tight enough. Yeah, it's very good.
what are your thoughts on stuff like speedcore, extra tone, noise, sort of stuff?
Speedcore, I've never been that much into it because it's often too straight in the sense that, I mean, it's kind of a machine gun thing that never really stops. I mean, from the speedcore that I know, which is not much. The extra tone, I think I'd never really listened. But on the noise side, I can enjoy noise, like harsh noise, and because it has an unpredictability. I mean, especially live, you see like noise band performing with super weird instruments they made. Like once I did this sound, because I guess most people know that I'm a sound engineer. I don't do a lot of live stuff, but at some point in Lyon, I was doing the live sound in this very small venue called Buffet Froid. And the owner was a very good friend, François, who released all the first Repetitor vinyl on his label Handicap Records. And what I was saying, yes, and he had to play this guy called Justice Yeldam. I don't know if you ever heard of this guy. He's an Australian performer who plays harsh noise out of broken glass. So basically he finds a very big piece of glass, he put a contact microphone on it and he blows on it. He smashes his face on the glass and it's just like on the glass, but and it goes to a lot of FX pedal, and he does play this as an instrument. Really, you can see that he plays it like a guitar. The sounds that come out of it are very noisy and very aggressive. It's a performance. There is something, you can watch the guy have fun on it. Basically, I would say, to your question, I'm more into the experimental harsh noise stuff than I am into speedcore. I prefer the very experimental side than the techno side of this kind of music, I guess.
Yeah, I think you're quite right. I've certainly seen videos posted in breakcore channels before of people, with microphones jammed into pots and pans and smashing it and crashing it and bashing it, and they're actually making something out of it. It's not just random noise. There is some musicality. You listen to that and go, I can appreciate that, even though it's harsh noise. Drumcorps though. Let's talk about Drumcorps. This tune Down that you've picked.
It's a very short one. I remember when it came out, I was like, okay, this is the guy who managed to get all the things I liked into the hardcore punk scene and the breakcore jungle scene and mashed them together. And especially this track, the way the vocals are granularized, sorry, and the way it's sequenced, I mean, it's very super aggressive, super tight, and I love it. There's really something about this track that I like. In the sound, it's very tight and very aggressive. And I picked this one. It's an old one. It has a story for me because I've listened to. But I really recommend everyone to check out the 2 last EPs he put out on Bandcamp. Those are easily the best things he ever released, in my opinion. Yeah, he's been very active on Bandcamp recently, under the Aaron Spectre moniker and under the Drumcorps. The 2 last Drumcorps are, my god, it's just like insanely violent, insanely punk, and super well produced, but very, very raw and aggressive and awesome.
Cardopusher, Show Me Your Pussy, Murder Channel, right? Murder Channel, another fantastic label coming out of Japan. When I first started listening to Cardopusher stuff, I was listening to the stuff he was doing at 128 or 140, the sort of acidy house fidget sort of stuff, and I was like totally hooked by it. Then someone told me about Cardopusher, the breakcore guy. I thought they were two different people, but the same person. Unreal.
No, it is the same, yeah. And for me, he was also one of the genius of the piece of sound, because this one is not on piece of, but before he was releasing on piece of, and he was basically the Mr. Bungle piece of to me a little bit, because he's smashing so many different tracks, sample into one sound to make a new sound out of those samples. And this one, like I think it's coming right after. You have all those ravey reggaeton type of samples, and then suddenly there is this massive like guitar solo from Guns N' Roses in the middle of nowhere, coming like what the fuck, but it just makes sense on the moment, and I love it for this. It's not about like each sounds are super tight or anything. It comes the solo. It just makes no sense. Love it. But yeah, so what I was saying is that it's not about like production value with Cardopusher from this period of time of his career. It was really about like, I can take this track, and this breakbeat and make a track that could be 10 track. There's so many ideas in 4 minutes that you could make an album out of it. And it really feels like a whole song of itself in the end. Talent, I guess.
Right, that's where artistry comes in, and hearing all these different bits and pieces and bringing them together into something new.
Yeah.
And making that collage. Is that kind of like where your name Concrete Collage comes from? The idea of bringing bits together?
Yeah, a little bit, and because I've always been a fan of collage. I've done a lot. I'm still doing some, actually. I'm doing a few of the covers for the label, and because basically to go back a little bit on the label, because I was about to start on my own a label that I wanted to call Collage Records, and I was supposed to do everything by myself, like all the covers, the mastering and everything. And it happened that my friend Homework was feeling the same way on his side, and as the thing that pushed my will of making a label was to release our side project together, it made sense that we did it together. He had something with Concrete in mind. I don't remember how he wanted to call exactly his label, but in the end we just smashed the two together. And Concrete Collage, what I like about it is that you don't really know if it's in French or in English. It's a little bit of both, and yeah, it's weird. I like it.
Anyway, I went off on a little tangent. Dr. Bastardo, No Candy VIP. But before we get into that, tell me a bit about your own music, Stazma. I mean, you had the Shapeshifter album out in 2020, and you've been stuck in your house because of COVID. How's your own stuff coming on? Like, I mean, you must have an album cooking on your back burner, right?
I have a new album in the making. Probably gonna take a while.
You can't rush good art.
Yeah. I'm very long when it comes to make finished albums. Not the tracks. I'm not too bad at it, but when it comes to make cohesive amount of tracks, it can take me a while to figure out which track I want in the middle of those two. And you know what? I don't know if you know what I mean, but I can spend times just to make that track that's supposed to link the two others that are already done. So basically, I think I have 5 or 6 tracks that I'm happy with at the moment, and I just need to make the rest to tie everything together.
So a couple more years, right? Okay.
Probably at least a year. But at the same time, I've released a lot of repetitor. I have some unreleased repetitor to release. I have an EP coming as the JungleChrist alone. It's a bit of a joke. I've realized that I've been putting most of the recent stuff just as Stazma and not as Stazma the JungleChrist. So I thought, why not make the JungleChrist as an entity of its own? So I've made a few way more jungle-oriented stuff recently, and so I'm gonna release those, like a 3-track EP with some remixes. It's coming soon.
I ain't shook. 'Cause if the right hook comes out, crazy motherfuckers like you get knocked out.
And I also have a few tracks that have been released on obscure compilations and a few unreleased Stazma stuff that are going to be released at some point on Concrete Collage soon as well. And the Golden Fang album, which is taking a while. So I'm basically very busy, but it will all take time, but it will come.
So anyway, Dr. Postado, No Candy VIP, we're almost through it, but a lot of crazy stuff going on here, real dance floor smasher.
Yeah. And this is a kind of track that I wanted to talk about this one because I love Dr. Bastardo. On the piece of label, he was one of the first I discovered. I think I discovered this Bastardo before Rotator on MySpace at the time. I loved it straight away because it has that jungle plus hardcore plus acid plus everything I like basically in the rave music that's smashed together and in your face. And but this one, the stories it was the beginning of me getting into the mastering stuff. I was doing most of the mastering for Peace Off, and when I got this one, I think it was one of the first of those tracks where I was like, I'm happy to work on this right now. I won't hide it. It doesn't happen every time when you're working in a technical musical thing. Sometimes I get to master stuff that I'm just like, nah, but I'm a technician when I do mastering, so I do it the best I can. And the best I think fits that music. But sometimes I get to rave myself, in my studio being like, yes, I'm happy to work on this right now. And this one, I remember the first time I was listening to it while listening to the album for mastering, was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna have fun with this. And I did. I've looked at it. It's been more than 10 years that I'm doing mastering now. I've watched this recently. Like, I think the first one I did for Peace Off was the Tech Diff Black Dog release or something like this. I don't know. I don't remember how it's called. Superb album, but there was nothing to do on this one, to be honest. It was, the mix were already, everything was sounding super good. Just had to make it a little bit louder, and that was it. So I don't have much credit on this one. And actually, this is where you do the best job most of the time as a mastering engineer. When you get stuff that's already very good, you just have to make the last bit of polish on it. This one, I remember, really had fun on it.
Last tune you've selected is Pet Brick, coming out of the Netherlands. Igor with a number of things and a whole list of people, right, in this one?
It's Igor Cavalera from Sepultura, the most known Brazilian metal band. So it's Igor Cavalera and Wayne Adams, aka Lady Scraper, that most of the people who listen to your show must know for his breakcore thing. When I saw that he was collaborating with Igor Cavalera, as a big metal fan, I was like, come on, dude, playing with Igor Cavalera, fucking hell, what is it gonna be like? And I love the album. I love what they do under this project, Pet Brick. It's very, very good. Distortion. It's all about distortion, but I love it. I feel it's a little bit in the same way I like the Piece of stuff. It's energy, something that, bam, in your face. And there's some more intricate tracks or intricate songs in the album, but this one is really, for me, like an archetype of industrial metal in your face. But it's not metal because it's mostly synthesizer with distortion and a drummer. There's no real guitar in this, only like noise, and I love it.
This is all 2019, 2020 released stuff, so it's very new projects. Maybe people haven't heard of it before, so getting it out there and getting it into people's ears.
And also another funny, like a fanboy story, really, with this thing. Is that, I was talking with Wayne, told him, hey, if you do like a remix album or something at some point, hit me up. I'd be very happy to work on it. And so a little bit after, he told me, so we're planning a remix album, so I'll send you the tracks. And so he sent me like the stems and stuff. And when I started to work on it, it's like, I'm tweaking Igor Cavalera's drums right now. For me, like, I'm a huge Sepultura fan. I was like, whoa, oh boy, that's awesome. Well, anyway, the remix, I really have fun with doing it. After the remix was done, they released another album, a collaborative album with another band from Brazil called Deaf Kids. So the album is called Deaf Bricks. It's awesome as well. So I was talking with Wayne, was like, do we have some vinyls from this? We can swap for Shapeshifter for you, this one for me. And so in the end, we ended up sending ourselves vinyls and t-shirts and stuff. So, and I sent them some t-shirts, and at some point, Wayne on the Pet Brick Instagram posted a picture of Igor Cavalera in the studio with the Stazma t-shirt on, and was like, okay, I can die now. That's all good. It's all done. I have nothing else to do in this life. It really made my day. I spent the whole day with a massive smile on my face, being like, like, yeah, that's fun. Sometimes you get to be a fanboy in this life, and it's good. It feels good sometimes.
Well, Stazma, that's brought us to the end of the show. Thank you very much for taking the time to take the call and talk to us about your love of breakcore, noise, and all the rest of it.
Oh yeah, always a pleasure to speak with you, man.
Well, likewise.
Looking forward to listening to this stuff.
All right. Thanks a lot now. Take care.
Yep. Ciao, ciao, man.
Au revoir.